It's a joyful morning. We are filled with infinite potential, which means we have access to infinite prosperity. How fabulous is that? How do we do that? This is what they wanted me to share with you this morning. Every cell of our body knows how to take the energy that comes to it to create perfect health. We too know how to take God love that comes to us to create perfect life. Perfect life is perfect living, and perfect living is living abundantly. How easy. And, we've begun the process. We've been working diligently, haven't we?
Yes.
So the first Sunday, Patrick was so wonderful. We talked about sending out our waves, that our waves go out into the world and bring back to us great energy, whatever we send out. And it was kind of cool knowing that we're wave makers, isn't it? Yeah, can you imagine before your work, can you imagine never having been on the earth plane and you're just a spirit walking around the cosmos and you come to the earth area and you look at what's happening and somebody greets you and says, yeah. See, they have these vehicles they get to go down into, and their vehicles are programmed for perfection, but they can program whatever they want, and then they put their energy in these vehicles, and then it's waves, it just makes waves going out into the world and comes back whatever they want. Don't you think if you were a creature from another planet, you go, I want one, give me one of those. I want to get down there and create anything I want. How fabulous is that? It's exciting, isn't it? You made that choice so long ago. So now we know that. We're wave machines. We're sending energy out, and it's coming back to us exactly as we sculpted it. Take a breath. Then the next week we talked about valuing and loving ourselves, how to close the holes in our pockets, that if we value and love ourselves, we can begin to hold the energy as it returns to us. And then we talked about dreaming bigger, reprogramming the programming to expand it so the bigger energy goes out, so bigger energy can come back. Has everybody been working?
Yes.
Remember the dream. Joy creates the dream. What sustains it? Hope. Joy creates it and hope sustains it. So this is what we've been working on very diligently, so diligently you may not even be aware of it. So, living abundantly, abundant living, happy abundant waves coming through us, expressing out into the world to bring happy abundant opportunities back to us. Ah, how fun. All right. Living abundantly. So, we're going to look at it a little differently today. Maybe about some of the programming that goes on. But I wanted a Bible story, you know me. I wanted to try to tie it down biblically. So I was thinking, who is the wealthiest person in the Bible? And we all know that answer, don't we?
Yes.
Solomon! Yay! That was good, about 10%. So to bring you up to speed, OT, very large book, Old Testament. David was the second king. David was a great king. And David had buku children. I mean, a ton of kids. And he had a lot of sons. But the second son by Bathsheba, a woman that he particularly loved, was named Solomon. And as David aged and was on his deathbed, he had, I don't know how many boys in line for the throne. But for some reason, he said, no, I shall choose Solomon to succeed me as king. So, we don't know how old Solomon is. There's a scripture in here where Solomon says, I'm very little. Very young, so they don't know how young he actually was. But we do know there were quite a few that should have probably taken that throne. And Solomon, in fact, was not prepared for that throne. He had not been raised to take that throne. It was quite a surprise. So, this is in, let's turn it right side up. This is in Kings 1, King 1, chapter 3. And verse 9. Solomon is in prayer, talking to God. And he feels God come to him, and God says to him, What do you want? Ask me what you want. Anything you want. And Solomon says this, Give therefore to thy servant an understanding heart, to judge thy people, and to discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? All right, I'm standing on this path that I'm not prepared for. Give me a wise and understanding heart so I can do my job. And God says to him, because you have asked for this thing and have not asked for yourself riches, neither have you asked for the lives of your enemy, nor have you asked for yourself a long life, but have asked for wisdom and discernment. I will do according to your words. I have given you a wise and understanding heart, so that there has been none like you before you, neither shall arise any after you. And I have also given you that which you have not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be among the kings like you in all your days. Because you have asked for what you needed, and because you are committing to the path that is before you, I will bless you with everything that you need. And to this day, Solomon is renowned to be one of the wisest and richest kings. That's our historical perception of him. You know, who knows the absolute tally, but that's our perception. But you hear, he asked for a wise and understanding heart so he could be with the people. That's a pretty strong pointer, isn't it, to wealth? As I find myself on the path, maybe I could ask for something that supports me in doing that which is mine to do. So, then I was asking about another story that might also help us understand. And you know, I was guided to the story of Job. Another one of our favorites. Everybody know Job? Okay. So Job is this guy who's infinitely wealthy. Job is so wealthy, he has like a buku kids and sons and daughters, has, the book tells you, goats and cattle and land and property, and he is just wealthy beyond wealth. And in the book of Job, he loses everything in segments. First, something kills his children, then this dies, then that dies, then he loses the property, then he loses his health, and it's just this series of events of loss until he is down to absolutely nothing. And the whole book of Job is about him dialoguing with his friends, and they say to him, "What have you done to create this?" And he said, "I have done nothing. You will not find the cause in my life for this effect. I've loved God. I have never turned away from God. I've done nothing." And then he has his moment of arguing with God. God, if you would just come down, I would tell you how fabulous I am. Remember? In the very first chapter, we find the cause of Job's sufferings. Do you want to hear it? Yeah. Chapter 1, verse 5. His kids are feasting. They're partying down. And so it was, when the days of their feasting were over, Job sent and sanctified them and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, "It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." And Job did this continually. So what is Job doing? He is taking on the karma of his children. I think my kids have partied a little too hardy. I better offer sacrifices for their sins, which is what the law is. If you sin, you sacrifice this, this, and this. But I am doing it for them because they don't want to do it for themselves. Therefore, what they are creating, I'm bringing into my world and taking responsibility for. Therefore, whose consciousness am I now living? Theirs. And do they live in abundance? No. They are not making a living. They are living off of daddy. And they are thinking in their mind whatever they want to think in their mind. How many times do you take on the karma of your friends and family? Think about it. We don't ever do that. I do it. I do it. I do it. Don't intend to. Don't I do it? We get so involved in everybody else's drama. And we can't go in there and make them right, so we take it into our world and we mull it over and we try to help them and we try to pray for them and we ask for divine intervention until our world is a pretzel shaped, sculpted by their thoughts, not our own. Do you understand? And what happened to the prosperity in his world? He got off his path for others. He got off his path for others. And as the story ends, and this is my favorite part about Job. As the story ends and he's saying, okay, God, come on down and tell you what's up. God comes down and says, look, dude, be still. Where were you when I created the earth? You don't need to be telling me what's up. I've been watching this whole thing. And he says to him two things. You gird up your loins, which means dress yourself up nice and look pretty. Make yourself beautiful. And I will know that you have saved yourself by your own hand. Get off the path of everybody else. Put on your clothes. Get your energy going. Make yourself beautiful. And you will be saved by your own hand. You're going to get back on your path. And of course he does. And then he has the same number of children, and his daughters are the most beautiful women in the world, and prosperity returns to him 1,000-fold. It's a beautiful fable, isn't it? It's a teaching tool. But it's a beautiful example of prosperity being altered by the karma that we willingly pull to ourselves of others. So that morning when Spirit's telling me to tell y'all this story, I'm saying, Job, Job, I tell him Job all the time. Isn't there another story, God? And I'm just, being a little questioning, which you never do, I know.
You never do that.
Never. So I get up and I'm going to, this is earlier this week, and I'm going to go get ready for work. And I have a stack of CDs that, they're old tapes of our services that I don't know how they ended up where they are. It's just a small stack. And I thought, well, before I throw them out, let me just re-listen to them because I don't know why they ended up in this area anyway. Because, we have copies of every service for years. So I would do that periodically when I put my makeup on. And that morning, I walked in and Spirit said, just this little gentle nudge, why don't you listen to a CD? And I went, I think I need a CD. I've been too caught up in Job. And so the voice kind of said, will you trust what you get? Will you trust your guidance? And I said, oh, of course I'll trust my guidance. So I've got them stacked there, and I just reach down and I pull one out of the middle of the stack, and I open it, and it is The Piece of Christmas, Patrick Abent, 2006. And I went, Christmas? I don't want Christmas. And I put it down, and I started to pick another one, and the voice said so clearly, I thought you were going to trust your guidance. And I went, okay, I'm going to have me some Christmas this morning. So I put the tape on. And Patrick starts talking about his Eastern heritage. He cut his teeth metaphysically on Eastern philosophy. And so he's telling this story that I'd like to share with you. This is the story of Krishna, who was a Hindu god, and his friend Narada. So Krishna is hanging out with Narada. And Krishna says to Narada, Narada, would you go get me a drink of water? And Narada says, sure. So Narada goes off on his journey to find water, and he's walking through the land, and he goes into this beautiful valley, and there's a farmhouse there. So he goes to the door, knocks on the door. The most beautiful young girl answers the door, and she's just so captivating. And he's invited in, and he meets the family, and they all love him so, and he extends his stay, and spends the night, and then he's extending his stay, and he's falling in love with this girl. And so he asks the farmer if he can marry her, and he says, well, of course you can. So they get married, and they are living on the land, and they're having multiple children. It's just prosperous. All around him is prosperity. And then out of nowhere, years later, a devastating storm comes and sweeps through the valley. Everything is destroyed. The people are killed. No one is left but Narada. And he's standing there looking at the destruction, devastated in his heart. And he hears a chuckle behind him. And he's kind of perturbed. So he looks to see who is chuckling. And it's Krishna. And he says, Krishna says, Narada, where's my water? And I thought everybody has a Job story. But do you get it? Slightly different. In this Job story, Narada got off his path for the pleasures of the earth. Off his path for the pleasures of the earth. And therefore lost the pleasures of the earth because he lost his path. The meaning is the same in all the stories. Just get on your path. Solomon said, I'm here, I'm not prepared, help me God. Job said, okay, let the kids go. I got to get back on who I am. I've got to be beautiful for me. And Narada had to get back on what was his mission. When you're on your path, prosperity flows. When you're doing what your soul wants you to do, don't you feel empowered? Don't you feel like you're just in your perfect place? Your path brings you spiritual fulfillment, and spiritual fulfillment is prosperity. When you are spiritually fulfilled, do you not manifest anything you want? It comes. You take no thought. I am feeling spiritually empowered. Boom. I'm exactly where I need to be. Boom. Everything happens when I am on my path. So, how can you embrace your path? You did not come here to do everything, but you did come here to do something. In our world of fast-paced energy, maybe I need to say that again. You did not come here to do everything, but don't we want to? We see the TV, we hear people, we hear this, we hear that. I want to do that, I want one of those, I want to do that, I want one of those. We didn't come for that, but we came to do something that is ours to do. Living outside your path, you never feel prosperous. You always feel like you need to be someplace else. Have you felt that in your world? You get up, you go to work, you get up, you go to work, it's like, I need to be someplace else. This is not where I need to be. And then there are moments where we're doing the most simple thing, and it's the most fabulous thing. The most simple thing that we're doing. I am exactly where I need to be. You know, I love my work, I love my job. When I'm at home, I love doing laundry. Ask me why, I do not have a clue. But I'm doing exactly what I need to do. For me, that is my path. Is cooking my path? Oh no. It is not my path. But do you see? Even the little things that we do can empower us and be steps on our journey, steps on our path. So, how do you approach your path? They said your sacred path is your divinity is your prosperity, and God does not withhold. Your little human nature does. Let's go back to our beautiful alien cosmos brothers, looking at our little vehicles that we push ourselves into and go down and have experiences. They look at us and they'll probably say, why did they program it that way? It can do anything. Or why don't they remember what the original program was? They can do anything. Anything. I had a dream a couple of weeks ago. Was one of my clients appeared in my dream. You know, it was just one of those dreams where there's no plot. It was vision. Boom. I saw my client standing among other people, but it was just my client, zeroed in. And I went, oh my God, he's beautiful. He's beautiful. It looks just like him, physically. He's beautiful, but he's calm. There is a depth about him. There's a truth. Oh my God, he's radiant. And instantly the thought was, he no longer has the pattern of self-destruction in him. And in my dream was like, oh my God, that's how he would look without the pattern of self-destruction. Our patterns that we carry, that are waving, our energies waving through, is bringing things back to us. We have that beautiful choice to clear the pattern. That was an amazing moment. That was an amazing moment. Have you ever seen someone that you haven't seen that for many years and you see them and they're different? Yeah. And it's not their bodies. It's the energy in them. Their patterns have changed. They've matured. They've grown up. They've given up this. They've given up that. Or they've changed the other way. Taken on different interesting patterns, you know? We are this beautiful, programmable vehicle that we can decide what experiences we want to have. And we can be as beautifully perfect as the angels that you see in your dreams. Have you seen an angel in your dream? And the first thing you know, how do you know they're an angel? It's not because they have wings. It's because the face you see looking at you is perfect. And I don't mean physically perfect. I mean the energy is perfection. The love is immense. There's no doubt in your mind you are totally loved when that being looks at you. Perfection. Each one of us has that capacity to move into that space where our patterns are now redone. We're perfect. We're perfectly able to emit waves of creativity that we want to experience. And we will all experience different waves, no matter if we're all perfect in one moment, just like that. Some of us will still do laundry. Some of us will cook. We are still unique. All right. You know, when Jesus said, go and sin no more, after he would heal somebody, he'd say, go and sin no more. We always teach that as, you know, pay attention, don't do what you did before. The pattern within them has already been healed because the issue is healed. But it may also well be that he's sealing in the frequency of the new pattern. It's been rewritten. You no longer have that disease or ailment. The pattern's gone. Now when he says, go and sin no more, can you just imagine those words moving in and locking in a new frequency of perfection and divinity? You don't have to do that. You're better. Come on. Locking it in. Think about the times that you do change. That you do change an idea. Sometimes we do it just that instantly. Sometimes it's a series of processes. But there comes a moment when it locks in. The pattern I once lived in no longer is active within me. And if we can make that pattern perfect, wonderful, we can absolutely step on our path and be assured of prosperity. Now y'all are looking pretty heavy here. This is supposed to be really enlightening. This is fun information, don't you think?
Yes.
Aren't you excited? Don't you want to just get to the computer controls and just rewrite a few things?
Oh, yeah.
It's just that easy. Now, isn't that exciting?
Yes.
So you can say to yourself, go and sin no more. Don't do that anymore. Yeah, don't do that anymore. Can be that easy. Every cell of your body knows how to use the energy that comes to it to create perfect health. We too know how to take the love that God sends to us to create perfect life. Perfect life, perfect living, living abundantly. Do you want to begin the process?
Yes.
Everybody clear?
Yes.
All right. Living abundantly, giving forth good. Good for the whole, good for you. Take a breath and put your feet on the floor. See a beautiful column of light coming over you. And feel this light is so full of that life force of God. Feel it thick, strong, bright. Like pure life force. Take a breath and breathe it into your body. I want you to feel your body and just feel that you're okay with it. I'm comfortable in my body. That's all I know. And I want you to look at your feet and look at the space in which you stand. This is your path. This is the path you are on. You have your body, you have your path. Now in your heart, I want you to imagine that your spirit, your light, your perfection can step out. And I want you to turn and look back at your body and your path. And I want you to be aware of any patterns that do not bring wholeness, health, and joy to you. And as you see these patterns, I want you to love that body. Love that beautiful body. Love that human nature. Love the experiences that have been brought to you. Just notice that they do not bring the ultimate potential. Feel the love that you are, the Christ that you are. And just like you're looking at that vehicle for the very first time, knowing that is your life, I want you to feel in your heart, what do I want to experience? What do I choose? And just let the feelings come up in your heart. It might be joy, it might be opulence. Whatever you choose. And now feel a beautiful light coming over you, that beautiful Christ of you, and remember your divine plan for this lifetime. I let the essence of my plan descend upon me now. Where am I to be? What was I to do? Where were the gifts to share? Let the essence of the plan flood you. Now look at that body, that human space, and I want you to send a ray of light to that heart. I now reprogram this body to take me to the plan that I feel in this moment. And see a beautiful arc of golden light moving from your heart to the body that you're looking at. And as it moves in, feel everything beginning to spin and shift and turn. Keep sending love for a moment. You are programming it to your path. The steps it needs to take to get you on the divine path. Take a breath. Put yourself back in that body. Put yourself back right through the heart center of that physical body and feel how it feels now. You should feel hope at the edges. There should be a golden light around you. There is room and expansion. And I want you to look at your feet once again and notice, does the path slightly go a different direction? Take 3 steps and stand. Father, Mother God, we ask that your love enfold us as we stand on this path. We ask that the alterations are effortless, and that as we give of our abundance to this world, we are abundantly blessed by the world and the universe. For we walk in your love. We breathe in all that we need for the path ahead, for that wise and understanding heart for our mission, for that acceptance of the choices of others, and for the steadfast commitment to walk our guidance, knowing that prosperity is a part of that. We stand in your care, God. Now take 4 more steps and feel I am on my way. We love you, God. Feel your gratitude to the universe, your guides and teachers, for your love for Jesus Christ. Take a breath and let your focus come back to the body that sits in the chair. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. I am prosperous. How about you?
I am prosperous.
I hope that as you walk through the next few months, that you maintain your focus on that connection with Spirit and Divinity. Nothing is withheld from you. Nothing is withheld from you. Be in your space, giving your good to the whole, and the universe will bring it back to you in unique and wonderful ways. Say, yay, God.
Yeah.
So it is.